Hi, it's Sarah here. So I'm just out for a walk with Nala, Dudley and Hector. It's a really windy day, but at least it's dry because it's been horrible weather the last few weeks. So this is just a little sort of mountain really close to where I live, and they love it up here. There's lots of wildlife around here. You can see just tracks of things. There's a nice bit of trees there. I think there's foxes and rabbits living in there. So it's nice to show you a video where there's actually blue skies in Wales. So there's not much to update you on. I've entered some shows with Nala and Hector. I think Nala and Hector have both got 2 shows in January. Nala's got 2 in February. And they're both at Crufts in March. Hector's on the Thursday on Gun Dog Day, and Nala's on the Sunday, Utility and Toy Group Day. So it'd be nice to get a little bit of practice before then in the other show. So hopefully I'll be allowed to film and you can see how we get on, because this is my first season show, and I haven't even been showing a year yet. So I'm a complete beginner, and I'm just lucky to have 2 lovely dogs to show. And hopefully we'll be able to get Dudley's KC registration going, and he can start showing as well. So I'll just stop here for a sec and just show you the view. So you can see all across the valley, all the way over there is Neath, and that way is Brecon, and you go this way and there's Aberdare, Cumdare, and then across that way is Mountain Ash, and sort of that way, the other side of the trees, is Cumbach. So it's lovely up here. It's quite open and exposed, so I never come up here if it's raining, because it's quite miserable and quite cold. But it's really pretty when the weather's good. So you can see the dogs are just milling around and just doing their thing. So they're not going super crazy, because they've been out this morning running around while I've been doing horses. It's quite nice that they get to be out most of the day and do their thing, really. So if I don't have time or chance to walk them, or not very far, they're not going to be crazy in the house, because at least they are moving around a lot at home. So Hector's done his usual, and he just goes off and does his thing, and you don't see a lot of him. I think he's just crossed in front of the path now. But yeah, he's always on the scent of something, and you don't see much of him if there's tree coverage like that, because he's just crazy in there. And sometimes my 2 will have zoomies in and out of the trees, but they seem quite calm today, so maybe not. So now you've just got, oh no, Dudley's come back into shot. I was just going to say, you've just got a shot now of where I'm walking, because the dogs have disappeared into the trees. So I'm just walking along this top bit, really, because it's nice. There is a loop round through the trees, but that's quite muddy and quite overgrown, and it's not very nice to walk on. So I'm actually going to turn around and come back. Come on then, this way! Good boys! So they all get a little treat just for coming back. It just means that I'm not screaming at them to come back to me, and it's always a nice thing to come back to me. I don't know why Nala's telling him off. she's just bossy, I think. And she likes to grab them by the neck. She never breaks the skin, so she obviously has some sort of control. And Hector likes to break them up when they play fight. You see, just body blocks. So yeah, Hector I think gets a bit worried when they play fight because he's never sure, I think, if they're serious or not. I don't know, for some reason he always likes to get in the middle of it anyway. But Nala likes to tell people off. She's quite fair. She never tells them off for no reason. And she tells her friends off more than she tells strangers off. So if a strange dog, but to be a little bit bossy or a little bit bolshy with her, she would think nothing of telling them off for being rude, but she wouldn't immediately go straight to dominate. You know, she wants to play first, and if the dog is rude, then she'll stand up for herself, which is, it's actually a nice combination, a nice mix, because I'm not really worried about her with other dogs because I know she's not going to start anything. And I know she's going to back herself up if she needs to. It's just gone a bit dark. I'm hoping it's not going to rain. You never know. Wales in the autumn, winter time. So you get a lot of rain. And a lot of wind, as you can hear as well. So this walk, in a sec I'll stop filming because it's downhill and it's quite a steep hill, so it's not ideal to film and walk down, but yeah, we go down the hill and then we end up across somewhere that locally is known as the line. It used to be an old railway line, but it's not been a railway line for many years, and a lot of people walk their dogs, ride their horses up and down there. So you've got to be careful that your dog is okay with horses, it's okay with strange dogs. And sometimes people just run or jog along there to keep fit, because the laws in the UK I think are a lot more relaxed than some other countries, so we're allowed to have the dogs off lead as long as we're in control of them, and they're not making a nuisance of themselves, so they're not causing other people harm or problems. They're allowed to be off lead, whereas I think in the US it's dog parks or way up in the mountains really, where you're not in a public area. If you're in a public area, I believe they got to be on a lead. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, because the laws are a lot more relaxed, you've got to make sure you're in control of your dog. So it's not causing anybody else any problems, basically. Like, I'm a horse rider, and I've encountered dogs that block the path, that run under the horse's legs, which is not only dangerous for the dog, but it's very, very dangerous for me and the horse. And it could be it could have long lasting repercussions if the horse gets spooked by dogs. It might get spooked by all dogs all the time and then get dangerous around dogs. That could cause me quite a serious injury. And a dog bites the horse in the wrong place, that could finish the horse's ridden career. A horse gets spooked and run off, it could fall and break its leg. So yes, it's important that your dog is under control, and you always should walk with a lead. So you could put it on a lead around a horse, because your dog may be fine around horses, but the horse may not be fine around a dog. And I've had one instance where a lady's argued with me about her dog because we asked her to put it on a lead, and we did ask nicely and politely, but turns out she didn't even have a lead with her. And we were on a main road, by the way, and she argued with us her dog did go behind my horse. Luckily he didn't kick out and he didn't get too spooked. He was spooked, but he didn't do anything too drastic. But that could have been a really serious situation, because roads are slippery, horses have got metal shoes on, and it's quite easy for them to slip on a road. So yeah, keep your dog safe around horses, because one kick from a horse could kill your dog. So it's not only important for the horse but for the dog as well. Not quite sure where Nala and Hector run off to, but they were quite enjoying having a little game of chase. Usually Hector's too busy on a walk to play like that. He's always off sniffing and wandering. Good boy, Ted. So I've been really working on Dudley's recall recently, because he was excellent as a puppy, and then he had his teenage rebellion phase where he didn't listen at all, like not one little bit. And now he's finally coming out of his teenage phase and generally listens. And I say generally because he's a dog and he finds certain things exciting or whatever, and that's the end of that really with Duds. So a lot of people say like Dalmatians aren't very trainable. They are, they need a reward. They're not the ones that you can just stand there and shout and dominate and boss them around, because they don't like it and they won't listen to you. They'll lose all respect for you, and I'll be that. So they need a good incentive, whether that's a toy, a treat, praise, a bit of all three. They need to know that working is good and putting effort in is good, or why bother? And that is pretty much the Dalmatians' motto. Whereas with Hector, as a gun dog, he's a lot more trainable. Well, I say trainable, he doesn't need the same incentive as the Dalmatians. And they have far more of a natural instinct to listen to humans than the Dalmatians. Dalmatians have got a bigger independent streak. So I think every breed is trainable. You just got to have the right training method for that breed. And I'm not saying you have to dominate your dog. I'm not saying you have to constantly positive reinforcement with it. You just got to find the right mix for your dog. So I'm just about to head down a steep hill, so I'll catch you all later.